back to TK Experience. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our 75 hard journey and our 12-week year. So, Crest, why don't you just tell the audience, what is 75 hard?
So 75 hard is a bit like Project 50, but more extreme and more disciplined. 75 hard is a challenge where we hold ourselves accountable. We become productively disciplined for 75 days, and we implement rules such as we wake up at 6:30, we go to the gym, we stretch, work out sometimes. And amongst that, once we continue to do those things, we start a day off productive, we get work done, and we continue to do throughout. And we have a bit of different goals and plans, like we pray, a bunch of different things, but it really is about pushing yourself to the limit, figuring out how to become the best version of yourselves, but ultimately growing and evolving as a person. Is there anything else I missed, Tom?
So, yeah, we're also reading a minimum of 10 pages a day.
Mm.
We try to meditate for at least 5 minutes. We drink a gallon of water, which normally we typically do anyways, but we want to make sure that. And it's just always just getting on a good routine, good schedule. And for 75 days, that can entirely change your life. So some background info, as you said, Project 50.
Mm.
We did this last fall, and for 50 days, we basically did the exact same thing. Not as disciplined, but it was still pretty disciplined.
Mm.
And it completely changed our lives. And after Project 50, we entered as completely new people.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
The lifestyle has just continuously just improving, and that was basically the whole goal was to get off to the senior year on the right start, to really just hone in on everything and just make sure we're completely disciplined. So, Cress, we're also doing the 12-week year.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the 12-week year is basically what you think it is. We all think of years of when you think of from January to December, but it's how can you condense all your goals and how can you be as efficient as possible in weeks? It's taking these weeks into years, right? So for example, how we break it down is the first week we have our rules, we have the things we set out. In fact, we have a whole diagram of what we want to do, our goals in different sections. I believe about 3 sections. And then we determine, okay, how can we be as efficient as possible in these 12 weeks? Now, I'm going to give a bit of a short summary because I know you know a lot more details with it, especially with the information you've gotten from other resources like the books and such like that. But that's a bit of the overview. But Tom, I'm sure you can tell them the really meticulous part of it.
So the whole goal of the 12-week year is to get more done in 12 weeks than most people do in a year. So I read this book over the summer, and it was life-changing. It really opened my eyes, and we've been doing a lot of the things mentioned in the book, but it was just more about the process of planning out a whole 12 weeks. And our 12 weeks started 3 weeks ago, so we're almost a quarter of the way done, and it's taking us all the way into the beginning of November. So we still have a lot of time, and we've learned a lot in our first 3 weeks, especially just with 75 hard and the 12-week year, combined. So the 12-week year has, for example, I have 4 topics. My 4 topics are: first, WC media, trading, enjoying every moment at Westchester, and just stepping out of my comfort zone and just becoming a better version of myself. So you break those 4 categories into more subcategories that you repeat daily actions. So, like for example, WC media, we have different tasks, whether that be reaching out to different clients, whether that just be meeting me and you, for example. And then we do that for each different category. So there's a lot of things that we're working on. And in our first 3 weeks, the hardest part is just being consistent for every single thing, because we've got a lot on our plates, and we're only 2 people. So it's very hard to just get everything and just stay disciplined every single day. So for the first 2 weeks, we were doing really good. Yeah. We were on a hot start. We were super disciplined. We were pretty much basically getting all of our tasks done. But this past week, school started, we started slacking on some areas. And the hardest part is just staying on top of everything. So we can't let things snowball. For example, we journal every day. Sometimes we forget, which is okay. But you can't let that one day turn into 3 days of not journaling. You have to just enter a new day with a fresh start, with your goals, and you just have to stay on top of everything.
Yeah, 100%, because as we realize when things start to happen, we get on a good roll, life starts to, I guess, for lack of a better word, humble you. You start to remember, okay, if I'm not consistent every single day, or even every minute, every hour of the day, then things start to fall apart. Because even when you speak about journaling, I definitely have experience with that and some other things. I realized that, hey, we started off well, but how can you manage when other things come along? How can you manage when school comes along? How can you manage when the season comes along? It's all about, okay, how can we balance that? And I remember even last night we were discussing as things started to catch up to us. One of the things that help a lot is sleep. And Tom always preaches this a lot. You know, if you go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, it circulates and maintains your circadian rhythm, which is very important. That regulates your mood. And apart from that, sleep is the best recovery, as you always say, which is extremely true. It's backed up by science, of course. And then furthermore, scheduling, because if even for me, bro, I can have all these things, but if I don't know what I'm doing when I'm doing it, it's my mind starts to feel disoriented. It feels as if I'm not in a place, you know. So I've realized that when you start to get up and pick up all these things, that's when you actually need to be even more consistent. The more harder it gets, everything that keeps happening, because if you're not, then things start to fall apart. And then, yeah, it's 100% true. And I think it's important that we are a bit transparent to them, because I was even having a conversation with a friend a few days ago, and they were saying that, you know, you guys do all this stuff, and sometimes it's hard to keep track because, you know, we think that, you know, you guys are just doing it like this and like that. And we're like, I mean, hey, we're all human. We all make our mistakes. But I think one of the things that separates us is, especially you, is okay, we fall, but we get back up as quick as possible. You know, we don't keep falling, like you said, the snowball effect. So that's one of the things I've realized a lot.
So in the book, there's a huge concept. It's a weekly accountability meeting where we meet with someone who's doing the 12-week year. And we've been doing that every Sunday just to recap our week. And we've done that for the past 3 weeks. So every Sunday we go down to the office at the edge where we live at, just for a different environment. And we just talk about what's going on in our lives. And it's good to just update and check on that. But for the first 3 weeks, we've really got into a good routine pretty quickly. Using Google Calendar has been one of the best things. We're both very busy people. We both have different schedules, and you have to know when each person is busy or to look at each other's day. So with Google Calendars, we can overlay each other's schedule, and we can see where we have open time blocks to work on WC Media, for example. So I think just the first 3 weeks has been a good kind of learning curve, just to see, you know, we had some great success in the beginning. We fell off. How do we get back to that level immediately? Because we still have a lot of time.
Yeah.
We're almost a quarter of the way there. And once it is over, it'll be November. It'll be basically towards the end of the semester. So you can't get too hard on yourself, but you have to have that self-reality check of, yeah, I'm not doing the things that I could be doing.
Yeah, because it's easy to, because we understand that most of the stuff we do, at least in Westchester, the majority of people aren't doing it. But we can't just find comfort in that, because Westchester's not the only place on the earth. We're competing with everyone else, right? So you hit the point right on the mark. We can't get complacent. We have to try to be consistent and hold ourselves accountable. And that's why it's so important to have a good friend, a good team, someone who's honest with you, because without the truth, you can't know everything. You can't figure out all your insufficiencies because you're only one person, right? You can't see all the different angles and perspectives. So it's very important to know who you're dealing with, know who you are, for example, and just understanding. And you know what? I made a mistake here. You know what? I'm going to hold myself accountable here, but okay, how do I react? And I can speak from example because, like we had a discussion last night, there was a few things I was kind of a bit confused on not figuring out, and then you were like, yeah, "Hey, listen, just get some sleep, schedule it out, and then you start from there." Because without sleep and a plan, you what else can you really do, pretty much? So, yeah, very good points, Tom. I really like those a lot.
So one thing that's been very beneficial is the Google Calendar, and also we've been using this app / Excel sheet called Rose. So it's a shared Excel drive online, and there's a lot of different things you can do with it. But for the main part, we've been just doing our tasks for WC Media, where we just add everything we need to do, because it's hard to be organized and to keep everything in track, because we have a lot of different things going on.
A lot.
So we also have two different other tabs where it's my personal task and Kress's personal task. Knowing what you have to do or what I have to do personally is perfect, because we can see, oh, you know, Kress is really slammed today. You know, he's got bam, 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 bam. But okay, maybe I can work on my schoolwork during that time. So we've already kind of figured out each other's schedule, and we know where we can work together already, and it's only beginning of week 4.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Because when you speak of partnerships and team and stuff like that, you can't be calling and texting every minute of the day because, like you said, we have different lives, different responsibilities. It may be similar, but our lives aren't the same to an extent. I don't think even twins' life are that much the same, right? So it's very important we have that. And again, back to the communication, the honesty, and holding yourself accountable because when you make stuff like that, the schedule, you have to live up to it at least, or at least try to, because you can't say you're gonna do it X, Y, Z, and then the whole time you're free, and then we could have been doing something or vice versa. So all these things we're doing, it's very good. And to add on to that point, it's important to implement something, some form of structure, some form of where you can figure out and decide what you want to do because from experience in the past, not writing things down, not planning things, you only get so far. Your brain can only hold and remember so many things. Plus, you have to handle the stress of things and all those different types of aspects. So, the schedule is something that you've certainly taught me how to do, which I'm very thankful for. Because without that, especially the things we want to do, we can't say we want to be at the 1%, the top 001, but we're not planning, writing goals, doing this, doing that. So, that's a very good point. And we would recommend that everyone, to get a schedule, try it out. Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, do it with a friend. Things are always better if you can do things with a friend. You're in college, you guys do a lot of stuff together outside of the classroom. You might as well try to implement some of these professional and things that can elevate you and evolve you to the higher echelons of life, so to speak.
So it's been a great 3 weeks just to start. We've made a lot of memories, we've had a lot of fun, and we've enjoyed every single moment. The biggest thing is just enjoying the process because that's what it's all about. We're going to be graduating very shortly. We've only got 1 year left, and just enjoy every moment. So, Cress, why don't you tell the viewers what's to come, whether that be the podcast, whether that be our company, Dub C Media? Why don't you give them a little sneak peek of our plans for the future?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things coming this semester, and we're very excited to do. We have the schedule planned out. We're trying our best to conceptualize every single thing. So, first with TK Experience, we are finally having guests on our podcast. I think you guys have heard us speak long enough just alone. I think it's time we switch it up, get it going, be a bit diverse, and also most importantly, have different perspectives because we might say one thing, but it may not click until someone else says it, you know? So we're having a guest on our podcast really soon. You guys are gonna know this person. This person's a competent person. This person works hard. This person sees the world the same way we do. This person likes to be determined and accomplish their goals. And that's what we want. We want people who are go getters, people who want to share their perspectives and share their experience. So that's one thing we're coming up. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not even going to tell you if it's a guy or girl. However, we have a person coming up and it's going to be really good. Second, with WC Media, we are starting to transition to bring things on campus. Very soon, we're building a team. We're having a team in the works. And if you're interested, certainly reach out to us because we do want to have boys and girls to go on campus, go outside, go on the towns, and just really bring a community together, really show people and the community what we can do, and bring a different environment, bring other people to the sports games. We're doing a lot of stuff. We have a lot of things, a lot of threads, a lot of strings pulling and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a little sneak peek of what's going to go on. If you guys haven't yet, check out our Instagram or TikTok at WC Media. You'll see a bit of what we're doing. And with that being said, too, there's a lot coming on. Expect the next podcast within the next 2 weeks.
So you hinted at a bunch of different things. Also, we've been thinking about even hosting another LinkedIn workshop on campus. We did this last year, and we probably had 10, 15 people show up, and we helped them build their LinkedIn profile. We've got a lot of experience doing it. We did a podcast about it a while ago, and our LinkedIn profiles have been very good, and we've got 1,000+ connections each, and I think we can really help people. So I'm going to do an Instagram poll on my Instagram, my main Instagram at Thomas_Hanvey. And if people want it, then yeah, I think we'll schedule it up. But there's a lot of different projects we've been working on. And the biggest thing is just there's only 24 hours in a day. Yeah. There's only 2 of us, and we're trying to outsource and just continue to grow our overall just, brand and just our network. So there's a lot of things to come. We've got a lot of time still. We're done with 3 weeks, and we're on to the 4th. Yeah. We've learned a lot already in the first 3 weeks, and it's just continuously to keep improving, keep honing in, stay disciplined, and the biggest thing is just consistency. Stay on top of our task,
Yeah.
know what we gotta do it, don't procrastinate. And besides that, it's been a great year so far. We've been
Yeah.
enjoying every single moment, and I'm just looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of good things to come as long as, like you said, we stay consistent, we stay on the path. Good things happen to those who plan and wait. So we continue to do what we need to do, which is easier said than done. But again, with a team, it makes things a lot better. So the things that are coming, I think we'll certainly reap the rewards. I think by the time the winter time, this semester starts to end, we'll look back, like you said, in the process to be, you know what? Despite all the things that may have happened, this was a good year. This was a good 12-week year. So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing you guys. Please drop a like, a comment, support us. We appreciate all the support. Give us a follow on Dubsy Media. We're on all platforms. Our link tree is there. And guys, we've had some conversations earlier this week where people have reached out and said, "Hey, I saw this podcast, I saw this video, and we had some conversations about it." Please reach out. We love to have conversations. We love to talk about it. And of course, once we kind of gauge your mindset, we will decide. And because again, we talk about guests and stuff, we're not just gonna have one guest. We want to have people that can help others. So when it comes to the experience, the sharing, all these different types of things, you never know, because again, each perspective is important. You can always learn from someone.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just if you guys have been watching any of our content, we post all of our 75 hard videos on Instagram. Please drop a like, comment, reach out to us even on DM or anything. If you have anything at all that you want to ask us about or just even connect with us, reach out. We don't really have that many people actually reach out, but I know there's a lot of people that are looking at the stuff, and some people like it and they talk to us in person about it. But just reach out if you have anything at all. But we'll be here all year. We're going to continuously do podcasts, especially with guests coming up. So I'm excited for the future. We're just going to continue to becoming 1% better each day. And as Jordan Peterson always says, you can only compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And about reaching out, just real quick, Tom. So for both our personal accounts, over 2,000 people has viewed it. We have the analytics over our business account. It's about to be 4,000. We know that there's people watching. You guys bring it up to us in person sometimes. Just there's nothing wrong with showing some support. There's nothing wrong with letting us know, because when you really think about it, that's where we remember the most. We can't know if you're watching because we're not always going to see all you guys in person all the time, right? But I remember this one friend. I think she lives at the edge as well too. She's always there. She's always supporting. And that's why I was like, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. You notice that a lot more, right? So again, we appreciate it all. But of course, don't be afraid to reach out. I know how the social media life and the lens may be. You don't want to. I get all that. I'm not going to delve into it, but I understand. But just understand that we're students just like you, and what better to support people around you instead of random celebrities, random XYZ people. But again, we can conclude it here. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys like this video. I hope that this motivates you or pushes you to do one of these Project 50s or 75-day hard, because these things will change your life. Without Project 50, Tom, we would not be here.
100%. And yeah, I just look forward to the year and just to continue to work on a 12-week year and 75 hard. So we will catch you guys in the next video.
Thank you, guys.